What's up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title of my thumbnail in the video, this is my WWE Raw review on highlights. Auska finally turned heel on Auska on WWE Raw. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I do on the channel. Follow my social media down below in the description, and go check out my WWE WrestlePalooza review and highlights, and also go check out my AEW All Out review and highlights that I post on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was a decent show for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. WWE Raw was live from Evansville, Indiana Forest Center. Commentary tonight were Joe Tesstor and Wade Barrett. Then now forever together. WWE Raw kicks off with highlights of WrestlePalooza. We see Division walking in the parking lot. We cut to Stephanie McCure with her father entering the arena. The camera cuts to the New Day and Grayson Waller outside of the arena with candlesticks. We see Bayley laughing and entering the arena. We cut to LA Knight entering the arena with Rusev yelling at Dominic Mysterio behind him. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. In this segment right here, I ain't gonna lie, this was a very good segment, and that's all I have to say. This was a very good segment. Live in the arena, Cody Rhodes' music hits, and now he comes to the ring. He gets in the ring, and the fans chant Cody Rhodes. He asks the fans what they want to talk about. He shows the crown jewel ring and says they can't talk about that. He says it's the undisputed champion against the world heavyweight. And we hear burn it down. Out comes Seth Rollins with the vision. Seth Rollins tells them to back away, and he gets in the ring, and he and Cody are face to face in the ring. The fans chant Cody as Seth Rollins tells him from the moment they both walk out of SummerSlam as champions. He had Crown Jewel circled on the calendar. They both had some hoops to jump through, but here they are. Champion versus champion. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Two of the very best in the world in their prime. One-on-one made the best man win. And it should be that simple, but it's not, because it is them, and it is deeper than that and bigger than that. He says he is pretty good in reading people. He knows what everyone in their arena thinks about him. He knows what the locker room thinks about him, what the internet thinks about him, what those watching on Netflix think about him, but he doesn't give a you-know-what. He says the fans don't know what is good for them, and they don't have the right to make decisions. A loud CM Punk chant from the fans. He says that, unfortunately, it is not about CM Punk because he does not have a championship. He knows what that moron thinks of him. What he wants to know, what he needs to know, is what Cody thinks of him. Cody will tell Seth Rollins it's complicated and it shouldn't be. Seth Rollins made some questionable choice. One of them is standing outside of the ring, and he greets Paul Heyman. Cody Rhodes tells Seth Rollins that Seth Rollins changed his life. He came back at WrestleMania, but Seth Rollins had the courage to stand in the ring in front of an opponent he didn't know. He changed his life at Hell in the Cell. He changed his career at WrestleMania 40. When he was his Shield, he changed his life when he helped bring the title to his family. It shouldn't be complicated. He just had Becky on his podcast. He knows it's wrestling 101 for him to run him down. But he says that a better question. What does Seth Rollins think of Seth? He says Seth Rollins could be the absolute best, but that Seth Rollins is not hiding behind the three goons. He asks Seth Rollins what he can do for him right now. Seth Rollins tells him before they talk about the ring, they need to talk about the watch that he is wearing. He says the watch that he is wearing is the watch Cody gave him at WrestleMania 40. He hasn't worn it a single time since until tonight, and he knows if that watch was real gift, or was it a token gesture, because Cody is fantastic at saying all the right things about him. Glowing prize he helped on him when it suits Cody, because in his next breath, Cody undermines every single thing that Seth Rollins stands for. Cody Rhodes will say with that straight face that he is the right person to lead this industry in the future. Cody Rhodes says that he is the quarterback, but if Cody really believes that, what does that say about Seth Rollins? He tells Cody Rhodes that either Cody Rhodes does not think he is good enough, or Cody Rhodes does not think he is as good as him. He says that the Vision are not goons. They are not just a group of people. They are an idea of what the future of the industry looks like, and it runs through him. He is the tip of that spear, not Cody. He says Cody can be a quarterback, but he will be his quarterback. He tells Cody if he does not agree with that, it doesn't matter, because the 3 weeks at Crown Jewel, the truth will come out by any means necessary. Cody Rhodes will find out that he is the creator, he is the prime mover, that this is not a two-man show. Seth Rollins says he is the alpha. Cody Rhodes says that Seth Rollins is the alpha of a. Cody Rhodes says that Seth is the alpha a lot of questions. He has 2 questions for Seth. In the 3 matches they have had, they have all been one-on-one. He asked him if at Crown Jewel that would be the case. And then in 3 matches that they have had, how many of them has Seth Rollins won? Cody slams the microphone on Seth Rollins' chest and leaves the ring. The fans chant Cody as he stares at Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins waves at them to move aside. Cody Rhodes walks away as his music hits. That was a good promo by Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. We cut to Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso tells Jey Uso what happened at WrestlePalooza was trash. He knows they can't beat them. He wanted to go talk to Adam Pearce to get a rematch, but Adam Pearce told him that Jey made his own match, him against LA Knight. Jimmy Uso tells Jey Uso that Jey Uso is busted up and hurt. Jey Uso tells him that he thinks that they would have won at WrestlePalooza if LA Knight was not the referee, and he thinks the Vision would have taken care of LA Knight last week. And we had Jimmy Uso not tag with him last week. Jimmy Uso asked Jey Uso Jey asked if he is blaming him, and Jey Uso tells him no. He is telling Jimmy Uso that they have a lot to handle, and they will after he bodies LA Knight. Jey Uso walks away. We cut to New Day and Grayson Waller coming down the ring. Let me take a sip of my water. Alright. A very good promo from Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, I agree with that. When Seth Rollins is not laughing and he is having a proper promo, he's very good. They might even be a bit of truth with that, with what he said about Cody Rhodes, always saying he is the quarterback. Hashtag WWE Raw. Commercial break. No disqualification match. Penta and the War Raiders versus the New Day and Grayson Waller. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie, this was not a bad tag team match. This was like, I'm also say this was a fun tag team match. All 6 men began fighting in the bell rings, and we are underway. The New Day and Grayson Waller are thrown to the outside of the ring. They grab Penta and Eric to the outside, but Ivar drags Xavier Woods into the ring. Xavier Woods with a rake to the eyes, but Ivar with a sit down. In comes Kofi, who lands a spinning kick. Eric comes in and he hits Kofi with a knee to the face. Grayson Waller gets in the ring and he hits Eric with a kendo stick. Penta grabs the kendo stick from him and he hits Grayson Waller with it. He goes to hit him again, but Grayson Waller with a super kick. Grayson Waller to the outside and Eric with a right hand. Xavier Woods and Kofi kicks and double team Eric and throws him into the ring. Ivar with a double shoulder tackle takes the New Day out. Penta is in the ring and he is jumped over Eric and onto the New Day. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Penta throws Grayson Waller to the outside of the ring. He hits Xavier Woods with a right hand and lands a Hurricane onto Kofi Kingston. Penta gets on the ring apron, but Xavier Woods trips him up. Xavier Woods places Penta on the top of a table that is at ringside. Kofi climbs to the top rope and he lands a leg drop on Penta through the table. The War Raiders double team Grayson Waller in the ring. The New Day with kicks onto the War Raiders. Ivar is on the top rope as the New Day gets on the second rope. Ivar with a headbutt onto Grayson Waller. The New Day goes for a double suplex, but Eric with a double powerbomb. Grayson Waller clotheslines Ivar, and both men fall to the outside of the ring. Ivar goes for a moonsault, but the New Day moves out of the way. The New Day double team Ivar and Ivar is on the ring apron. Grayson Waller runs towards him, but Ivar powerbombs him on the ring apron. Xavier Woods hits Ivar with the kendo stick. Eric gets on the ring apron, but Eric slams him onto the ring apron. Kofi jumps off the ring steps and lands a splash on him. Xavier Woods gets in the ring and he runs towards Penta, but Penta throws him through a table that is set up on one of those corners. Penta climbs the top rope, but Grayson Waller hits him with a candlestick. Grayson Waller on the second rope, but Penta with right hands. Penta with a Mexican driver. Penta goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Penta and the War Raiders. This was a fun tag team match to watch. We cut to the back and see the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio tells Finn Balor that the whole thing with Russo has gotten out of hand. He is going after his Intercontinental title. Finn Balor asks him why he doesn't ask his new friend El Gran Americano. Dominic tells him that he is back in Mexico. He asks Finn what he is doing tonight, and Finn Balor tells him he is busy. Dominic asks JD what he is doing tonight, and JD says he is busy. Roxanne Perez tells JD that they are the Judgment Day and he needs to help him. JD says he will help him, but he won't help Dominic for him. He will help him for the Judgment Day. JD tells him that he will go speak with Adam Pearce, but Dominic tells him that he doesn't have to. He spoke to Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce made JD against Rusev. We cut to Lara, Kira, and Bayley in the back. Lara Kira apologized for last week, but Bayley tells her it was so good to see her again, and she asks Lara if she would like to be in her corner tonight. Lara asks her if she is joking because Bayley yelled at her last week. Bayley asks Lara if she was joking. Lara tells Bayley that it really means a lot to Bayley, and if it gets her to be the best version of herself, she will be there. Bayley tells her no, take back, and they shake hands. Not a bad tag team match. They have hit the brakes on Penta, and I can't see them slowing down with him. Hashtag WWE Raw. So we go to commercial break. Adam Pearce is in the ring, and he introduces the new Women's World Champion, Stephanie McCurry, to the ring. She comes out and speaks in Spanish and in English. Stephanie McCurry says she had her hero that is her dad. We see her dad at ringside. She says with pride she can say that she is the first woman Latin American World Champion. This title represents years of sacrifice. She says this represents the motivation and support that everyone has given her, and all of them celebrated with her at WrestlePalooza, and she thanks them. She says she will keep making history, and nobody can stop her because she is the first WWE Women's Champion. Adam Pearce tells Tiffany will defend her title in a triple threat on SmackDown and at Crown Jewel. Stephanie McCurry will face the winner of the match for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship. Stephanie McCurry says she will be there, and she raised her title in the air with pyro going off. I believe that Stephanie McCurry is going to win that Crown Jewel. I can definitely see that, but I could be wrong. We see clips of Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena at WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania. We see clips of Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena at WrestlePalooza, which is that match was the worst match of the night. John Cena deserves way better. That's all I gotta say. Brock Lesnar hit John Cena with 7 F5s. I don't believe it, man. But John Cena do deserve way better, and that's all I gotta say. Stephanie is backstage and she is stopped by Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley. They congratulate her. In comes the Kabuki Warriors and Auska tells Stephanie McCure that Io should be champion. Stephanie McCure tells Auska that she will show her why she is champion. Rhea Ripley tells Auska that out of respect for Io Sky, she's tired to stay out of her way. But she is sick and tired of her attitude. Asuka tells her she will show her why she is not ready for Asuka. Rhea Ripley says she is ready for Asuka and she challenged her to a match tonight. Asuka accepts and walks away. A good promo by Stephanie McCure. You can tell this means a lot to her and she connects with the fans. Hashtag WWE Raw, which is I agree with that. Let me take another sip of my water. Let's move on. So we go to commercial break. Bailey, accompanied by Lara Raquel versus Roxanne Perez, accompanied by Raquel Rodriguez. And this match right here, this will say, I might as well say this match was okay for what it was. The bell rings round underway. Bailey with a headlock takedown. Roxanne gets back up and Bailey goes for a Bailey to Bailey, but Roxanne Perez was out of the way. Roxanne to the ropes, but Bailey trips her up. Bailey with a running elbow to the back of the head. She goes for the cover, but Roxanne Perez kicks out. Roxanne Perez rolls to the outside of the ring, and Bailey with their right hand. Roxanne Perez slams her into the barricade. Roxanne Perez throws Bailey back into the ring. She grabs Bailey, but Bailey with a back suplex. She runs towards Roxanne Perez, but Roxanne Perez with a boot to the face. Roxanne Perez on the second rope, but Bailey on the second rope. Roxanne Perez rolls under her. Raquel Rodriguez distracts Bailey, and Roxanne Perez trips Bailey up. Roxanne Perez stands on Bailey's left knee. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Bailey climbs the second rope and she lands in elbow drop. She goes for the cover, but Roxanne Perez kicks out. Bailey climbed the top rope, but Roxanne Perez tripped her up. Roxanne Perez climbs the top rope and lands a hurricanrana. She goes for the cover, but Bailey kicks out. Roxanne Perez goes for a pop rocks, but Bailey gets out of it. Bailey goes for a knee, but Roxanne Perez moves out of the way. Roxanne Perez rolls her up, but Bailey kicks out. Bailey with a right hand. Bailey on the second rope, but Roxanne Perez jumps up and lands a Russian leg sweep. Bailey rolls to the outside of the ring. Roxanne Perez goes for a suicide dive, but Bailey with right hand. Roxanne Perez on the outside, and Bailey grabs her, but Roxanne Perez with a pop rocks on the outside. Roxanne Perez gets back in the ring, and Bailey makes it to the ring. Roxanne Perez distracts the referee, and Raquel pulls Bailey to the outside. Raquel with a big boot. Lara Raquel on the outside, and she pushes Raquel into the ring post. Roxanne Perez with a suicide dive onto Lara Raquel on the outside. Roxanne Perez with right hands. Bailey grabs her head, and she grabs Roxanne Perez. She throws Roxanne Perez into the ring. Bailey with a belly to belly, followed by a knee. Bailey with the rose plant. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Bailey. This match was okay for what it was. Lara Carey in the ring after the match. She begins to clap. She hugs Bailey, but Bailey pushes her down. She yells at Lara Carey, telling her if she thinks she can't touch her. Bailey tells her to stay out of it, and she walks away. I like this new character of Bailey. I like it. So that's all I gotta say. We cut to Cody Rhodes, who is walking, and he shake hands with Jimmy Uso. He congratulates Cody on his win. Cody asks him how he is doing, and Jimmy Uso says he is good. Cody asks Jimmy Uso how Jay is, and Jimmy says Jay is in his head. He is not listening to him, but maybe he will listen to Cody. He tells Jimmy that he will talk to Jay Uso, and Cody Rhodes walks away. Alright, they're trying to do something with Bailey. A good match a good match and win for her. Lyra Kira being used to bring out this new Bailey character can be a good thing. Hashtag WWE Raw, which is I agree with that. I like this new Bailey character, and that's all I gotta say. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Cody Rhodes walks into Jey Uso's locker room. Cody Rhodes tells Jey Uso that he spoke to Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy Uso seemed a bit worried about him. Jey Uso tells him he is good. Cody Rhodes tells Jey Uso that if he wasn't good, he has been there. It's high and lows, wins and losses, and when that happens, sometimes people lash out, and he has been there before. He tells Jey Uso he has his family and friends, and they believe in him. Jey Uso thanks him and tells him that he will find his way back to the top. Cody walks away, and we cut to the ring. So we get JD Madonna accompanied by Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev. This match right here, I ain't even gonna lie. This match was decent. This was a decent match for what it was. The bell rings were underway. Russo with a kick and right hand. The referee breaks it up, and JD with chops to the chest, but Russo with a right hand. Russo with a suplex, and he tells Dominic that he is going for him. Russo with a suplex. Russo with an elbow drop, followed by a kick. Russo goes for a suplex, but JD on his feet. JD with a chop to the chest, and JD runs to the outside of the ring. Russo chases him back into the ring. JD to the ropes, and Russo with a back body drop. Russo throws JD to the outside of the ring, and Russo to the outside of the ring. Russo throws JD onto the barricade. He goes to throw JD into the ring steps, but JD jumps over the steel steps and he pushes them onto Rusev. JD on the ring apron, and he goes for a kick, but Russo grabs him and puts him on his shoulders. JD lands on his feet, and he pushes Russo into the ring post. JD on the ring apron, and he lands a springboard moonsault. So JD Madonna was taking nasty bumps during this match. Commercial break. Back from commercial, JD with a jawbreaker. JD on the ring apron, and he lands a corkscrew splash over the top rope onto Rusev. JD with a running knee to the face. He goes for the cover, but Rusev kicks out. JD with the right hand, followed by a DDT. JD with the headbutt. He climbs to the top rope, and he lands a moonsault. He goes for the cover, but Rusev kicks out. JD with forearms to the face. He runs to the top rope and lands a clothesline. JD to the ropes, but Rusev catches him and slams him onto the mat. Rusev with the mushka kick, followed by the accolade. Dominic gets on the ring apron behind Rusev, and JD taps out. The winner of the match, Rusev. This was a decent match for what it was. JD is still in the accolade, and out comes Finn Balor, who hits Rusev with a right hand. Dominic grabs JD to the outside of the ring. Finn Balor tells Dominic what he is doing. He was supposed to help Dominic. He says he did help. I believe that Dominic Mysterio is going to turn on Finn Balor. You know what I'm saying? I believe, you know what I'm saying? I believe, that's just my opinion. I believe that Dominic Mysterio is going to turn on Finn Balor, or Finn Balor might turn on Dominic Mysterio. Who knows? It is what it is, but let me move on. We cut to the back, and Auska tells Auska that she does not have to do this. Auska says she has to teach real respect. She does not want advice from someone who lost, and Auska walks away. Kyrie tells her that they must listen to Auska. Jackie Redman is backstage with LA Knight. He calls Jackie wordy. He says Jay comes in hot, and he asks if Jey Uso should be worried about him or his health. He says he tried to make sure that Jey Uso was good, but Jey Uso pushed him out of the way, and he ate a spear through a table. He tells Jey Uso he does not want to hurt him, but if he makes him, he will. LA Knight says Jey Uso hurt himself on the weekend, and he will hit him with the BFT for his troubles. With everyone saying LA Knight, yeah. JD Madonna took some nasty bumps. Russo did well here too, but this was all about Dominic Mysterio. Him not helping JD, and it was Finn who broke it up. Hashtag WWE. And Rusev is going after Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental Champion. I can definitely see that. So commercial break. Jey Uso versus LA Knight. And this match right here, this was a solid match. As LA Knight is in the ring for his entrance, Jey Uso hits him with a right hand, followed by a spinning elbow to the face. Right hands by Jey Uso, and he goes for a splash in the corner, but LA Knight moves out of the way. He throws Jey Uso to the outside of the ring. LA Knight goes for a baseball slide, but Jey Uso moves out of the way and he hits LA Knight with the clothesline. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, LA Knight leads to the top rope and lands a superplex. Both men to their feet, and LA Knight with right hands, but Jey Uso with right hands. Jey Uso goes for a super kick. LA Knight does, and he lands a burning hammer. He goes for the cover, but Jey Uso kicks out. LA Knight goes for a big boot, but Jey Uso rolls him out, and LA Knight kicks him. LA Knight goes for a net breaker, but Jey Uso hands on the top rope. LA Knight to the outside, and Jey Uso with a suicide dive. Jey Uso throws LA Knight back into the ring. Jey Uso with a super kick, and he goes for the cover, but LA Knight kicks out. Jey Uso goes for a spear, but LA Knight with a kick, and he lands a DDT. LA Knight gets on the second rope, and he leaps up to the top rope, and he lands an elbow drop. Braun Breaker gets on the ring apron, and LA Knight hits him with their right hand. Bronson Reed gets on the ring apron, but LA Knight hits him with their right hand. LA Knight turns around, and Jey Uso hits him with a spear. Jey Uso climbs the top rope, and he lands the Uso splash. He goes for the cover, gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jey Uso. This match was solid for what it was. He leaves the ring and begins walking, but out comes Jimmy Uso. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are on the ring apron, and Jimmy Uso tells Jey Uso to help LA Knight. Jimmy Uso runs down to the ring with a steel chair as Jey Uso stays back. Paul Heyman tells Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed no, and they head to the back. We cut to the back, and Seth Rollins is looking at his wife. Becky Lynch tells Seth Rollins that the Usos are disrespecting them. Becky Lynch goes on to talk about herself, and she says the fans are trying to steal everything that they have built. She says CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Cody Rhodes have not done what they have done, and she is going to make an example. She grabbed her Women's Intercontinental Champion belt and leaves. Seth Rollins continues to look at his watch. The camera cuts to Rhea Ripley, who is stretching for her match. In comes Auska, and she tells Rhea Ripley that she needs her to call off the match. Rhea Ripley says that match has to happen. Maybe her and Auska can beat the respect into each other the same way they did. Auska tells Rhea Ripley that Auska is family and she can trust Auska. Auska asks Rhea Ripley if she can trust her, and she walks away. They are trying to do something with the Usos, and LA Knight possibly have Jey Uso against Jimmy Uso eventually. Hashtag WWE. But like I said, Jey Uso, you better not turn on Jimmy Uso. If that happens, everybody's going to crash out. Alright, so go to commercial break. Maxine Dupree is backstage with Adam. Maxine Dupree is backstage with Adam Pearce. He tells her that this women's division is very competitive, but for her to keep doing what she is doing, and he will find her an opponent. She thanks him and walks away. In comes AJ Styles and Drag Lee. AJ Styles tells him that he doesn't like El Grande Americano. He asks Adam Pearce how many of them there are, and Dragon Lee tells him that they want a tag team match next week. Adam Pearce makes the match for next week, and AJ Styles tells Adam Pearce to stop singing Americanos. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee walk away. Alright, so we get the main event of the evening. So we get Auska versus Rhea Ripley. And this match right here, this was a solid main event match right here. The bell rings, we are underway. Auska with kicks, and she rolls Rhea up, but Rhea Ripley kicks out. Auska goes for a clothesline, but Rhea Ripley ducks and lands a German suplex. Rhea Ripley goes for a big boot, but Auska moves out of the way. Rhea Ripley on the ring apron, and Auska with a running hip attack. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Rhea Ripley on the ring apron, and Rhea Ripley goes for a kick. but Auska with a dragon screw. Rhea Ripley with the right hand, followed by a clothesline. Rhea Ripley with a kick, and she slams Auska face first onto the mat. Rhea Ripley with a drop kick, followed by a suplex. She goes for the cover, but Auska kicks out. Rhea goes for the Rachel's Edge, but Auska lands on her feet, and she kicks Rhea Ripley's leg. Auska with a drop kick, and she goes for the cover, but Rhea Ripley kicks out. Auska with kicks, and she goes for a waist lock, but Rhea Ripley on the ropes. Rhea Ripley with a big boot, and Auska falls to the outside of the ring. Rhea Ripley on the ring apron, and she lands a cannonball. So we go to the commercial break. We're back for the final commercial break. Rhea Ripley plays Auska on the top rope. Rhea Ripley on the top rope, and she lands a superplex. Both women with right hands, and Rhea Ripley with a super kick. She grabs Auska and lands the Racer's Edge, followed by a running kick to the face. Rhea Ripley goes for the cover, but Auska kicks out. Rhea Ripley goes for the riptide, but Auska with kicks, and Auska with an armbar. Rhea Ripley gets out of it, and she goes for a spear in the corner, but Auska moves out of the way, and Rhea Ripley hits the ring post shoulder first. Auska with a kick, and she goes for the cover, but Rhea Ripley kicks out. Auska with kicks to the head, and she goes for another kick, but Rhea Ripley grabs her by the legs and hits her with the right hand. Auska with a right hand and a kick. Rhea Ripley falls to the outside of the ring. Auska distracts the referee, and Kairi Sane thinks about hitting Rhea Ripley, but she doesn't hit her. Auska to the outside, and she slams Rhea Ripley face first onto the announcer table. Auska throws Rhea Ripley into the ring, and she lands a running elbow. Auska to the ropes, but Rhea Ripley with a forearm to the face. Rhea Ripley goes for a kick, but Auska grabs her by the legs and gets a modified leg lock. Auska goes for the ankle lock, but Rhea Ripley gets to her feet. Auska with a release German suplex. Auska climbs the second rope and jumps, but Rhea Ripley with a drop kick. Auska yells at Kairi Sane, and she tells her to hit Rhea Ripley. Kairi Sane gets on the ring apron, and she goes to hit Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley catches her arm. Auska goes for the hip attack onto Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley moves out of the way, and Auska hits Kairi Sane. Rhea Ripley rolls Auska up and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Rhea Ripley. This was a solid match, what it was. Auska with the poison mist to the face of Rhea Ripley. Auska tells Kairi Sane to hit her, and Kairi Sane begins hitting her with right hands. Io Sky music hits, and out she runs to the ring. She stops Auska, and Auska hugs Io Sky. Auska turns around, and she hits Io Sky with a spinning elbow. Auska tells Kairi Sane to hit Io Sky, and Kairi Sane with right hands. Auska with a kick to the face, and Kairi Sane on the top rope. She lands the insane elbow. Auska celebrates as Brawl goes off the air. A solid main event. Rhea Ripley and Auska are two wrestlers that can have a good match with anyone. Auska and Kairi Sane turning on Io Sky is probably something that many were expecting too. Hashtag WWE Raw. And WWE Raw goes off the air. We all been knew that Auska was going to turn on Io Sky. So Auska and Io Sky is going to start feuding against each other. But like I said, let me give my opinion what I think about WWE Raw. Now, WWE Raw was a decent show for what it was. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel. Because I'm on the road to 11K and I'm pushing for YouTube partner. Follow my social media down below in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow for my WWE NXT review and highlights. And also go check out my WWE WrestlePalooza review and highlights. And also go check out my AEW All Out review and highlights I post on the channel. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. Have a great night, guys.